Welcome to another deep dive. You ready to go deep?
Oh, I'm always ready to dive in.
Awesome. Well, this one is all about the global success of V, the K-pop star, from BTS.
Yeah.
And we're going to be using a really cool article from Star News, which is, like a major entertainment news source over in South Korea.
Oh, wow.
Gives us a really good insight into the K-pop world.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Directly from the source. So what's interesting is we're not just looking at Korean fans here.
Right.
V is making a huge global impact.
He is. And you know what's really fascinating is how he's making waves internationally. And the article highlights one specific example. His record-breaking success on an Australian Tidal top video chart.
Okay, Tidal.
Yeah.
For those who maybe aren't super familiar with it, it's that music streaming platform, kind of like, your Spotify,
Yeah.
Apple Music.
Yeah.
But it's known for, like, the higher quality audio.
Yeah.
More exclusive content sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And the top video chart is obviously what's most popular on their video platform.
Exactly, yeah. So when we say V top the chart, we're talking about some serious recognition on a global scale. And it's not just for like a day or two. His song, Winter Ahead, which is a beautiful duet with the vocalist Park Hyoshin, held the #1 spot for 6 straight days.
Wow.
Which is a record-breaking streak for a K-pop artist on this chart.
So 6 days at #1 on a global chart.
Global, yep.
That is pretty impressive. It makes you wonder just how much of the chart did he, take over?
Well, prepare to be impressed, because 11 out of the top 20 videos on this chart are V's solo work.
Wow.
So we're basically looking at a V takeover.
That's a statement about his popularity.
It is.
And it's not just a one-hit wonder either, right?
Right.
The article mentions that all of the songs from his solo album, Layover, are on this chart. What do you think it is about this album that's making it connect so well with people?
I think there's a couple things. First of all, the album showcases V's unique musical style. It's a blend of traditional Korean sounds, but also influences from Western genres like jazz, R&B. You get a really unique mix, which appeals to a wide audience, both in Korea and internationally.
Oh, so he's kind of bridging cultures.
Yeah, definitely.
With his music.
Exactly.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
And it makes me think about the music videos, too.
Oh, yeah.
Because the article mentions how the Winter Ahead video, they say, has a lot of artistic depth and visual storytelling. What did you think about it?
It's definitely, I would say, a work of art.
Yeah.
V plays the role of a sculptor in the video, and the visuals are stunning.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's more than just a typical music video. It tells a story,
Yeah.
evokes emotions, it adds another layer to the song's meaning.
Wow.
And actually, even before the full song was even released, just the video itself created so much buzz online.
So we have this amazing music, and then you add a really strong visual element to it.
Right.
A story.
Yep.
And it's resonating, but this is just Australia, right?
Yeah.
So is it a global phenomenon? Is this happening everywhere?
This is happening globally, definitely. His impact goes far beyond just Australia. Remember that the title chart is global.
Right, yeah.
And he actually also has the longest running #1 spot for a K-pop artist on the global chart, again with Winter Ahead.
Wow.
So yeah, that's a very clear indication of his global appeal.
I'm seeing a pattern here. Global chart domination, these innovative music videos.
Yeah.
That unique sound that's blending cultures.
Yeah, he's pushing the boundaries.
What else did the article highlight that you think is contributing to this?
Well, one thing that really stood out to me was his willingness to break new ground.
Okay.
The article lists a bunch of first for K-pop artists that V has achieved. So, for instance, his song, Fry and Us, was the very first K-pop song to hit #1 on the U.S. Tidal top video chart.
Wow.
And then White Christmas followed suit, also debuting at #1 on the same chart. And then Love Me Again got the top spot on the UK Tidal top video chart, another for K-pop.
So he's not just riding a K-pop wave, he's pushing it forward,
Exactly.
It's like he's rewriting how to have K-pop success on a global scale.
Absolutely, yeah. He's paving the way for other artists to achieve similar levels of global recognition. I mean, to really grasp the extent of his achievements, get this. For a while, he held the top 11 spots on the U.S. Tidal top video chart.
No way.
With his solo songs.
Wow.
And he dominated the UK chart with 10 songs ranking from #1 to #12. No other K-pop artist has done that.
That's incredible.
It is.
It just makes you wonder, what is it about this global interest in V and K-pop as a whole?
Right.
What are the cultural factors here? What's drawing everyone to K-pop?
It's a good question, one that we're going to get into as we continue this deep dive. But before we do, let's take a closer look at another cool thing, his collaborations. He's not just a solo act. He's working with other artists, both within the K-pop world and outside of it.
Okay, so he's really using that to his advantage.
He is. And it's really playing a key role in expanding his reach and kind of solidifying his status as a global music icon.
This is going to be good.
It is. You know, we were just talking about V's global reach, breaking all this new ground for K-pop artists.
Yeah.
And his collaborations, I think, are a big part of that, wouldn't you say?
Totally. It's not just him on his own. It's the magic that happens when he teams up with other musicians.
Right. And it brings us to a perfect example. His collaboration with Park Hyo-shin on Winter Ahead. Park Hyo-shin is like a legendary vocalist over in South Korea, known for this incredible vocal range, emotional depth. He just brings something totally different to the song.
Oh, I totally agree. Their voices blend so well.
They do.
It's like they were meant to sing this song together.
It's a perfect match. And you can tell that V is carefully selecting his collaborators, right?
Yeah.
He's not just looking for a big name. He wants artists who complement his style, you know, who can really enhance the music.
It's definitely a smart strategy. It exposes him to a wider audience, allows him to play around with different sounds.
Exactly.
It kind of makes me think about the impact of these collaborations on the music scene as a whole, not just V.
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic. You know, when K-pop artists like V collaborate with musicians from other genres, other cultures even, it helps to kind of bridge those gaps, introduce audiences to new sounds, new perspective.
Like a musical melting pot.
Exactly. And it's not even just about the music. It's about fostering a sense of cultural exchange, understanding.
Which is so important.
It is.
But let's talk more about V as an artist. He's a great collaborator, but he's also always evolving as a musician.
Always.
You know, the article doesn't really delve into this, but I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Like, how do you see his artistic evolution?
Well, I think one of the most striking things about V is that he's not afraid to take risks and push those boundaries. If you listen to his solo work, it's a departure from, you know, that typical K-pop sound. He's got elements of jazz, R&B, even classical music sometimes.
It's like he's creating his own lane within K-pop.
Exactly. He's not following trends. He's forging his own path. And he's not afraid to be vulnerable in his music, show different sides of himself. That kind of authenticity resonates with a lot of people.
Yeah, you can really feel that when you listen to his music.
Yeah.
They're not just catchy. They have this depth and sincerity that is really compelling. But, you know, we've been talking a lot about the music, the charts, the collaborations. What about the man behind the music?
Oh, yeah.
The article mentioned his personality is a big part of his appeal, too.
Absolutely. V has this infectious energy, you know, and this charisma. He's playful, he's genuine, he's incredibly humble, and he connects with fans on a personal level. And that authenticity shines through in everything he does.
It's like you can tell he loves what he does. Really appreciates his fans. And it's not just his personality. He's incredibly dedicated to his craft.
Absolutely.
Always pushing himself to improve, try new things.
It's inspiring.
It creates this strong bond between him and his fans.
It does.
You know, they see that dedication, passion, and it fuels their support and their enthusiasm.
Right.
So it's like more than just fandom. It's like connection, shared passion, and that power of music to bring people together.
It really is. And that's ultimately what makes his success so meaningful. You know, it's not just the numbers, the accolades. It's about the impact he has on people's lives.
And speaking of impact, I want to shift gears a little bit and talk about the cultural impact of K-pop as a whole.
Okay.
This is something the article briefly mentions, but I think it's a really fascinating topic. How do you think K-pop is shaping culture globally? So we were just talking about the impact of V's success, but now I'm curious, what are your thoughts on K-pop's wider cultural impact? I mean, it's become such a global thing.
It really has.
What do you think's driving this?
I think what's really fascinating is how K-pop's become this global ambassador for Korean culture in general. It sparks so much interest in the language, the food, fashion, even tourism.
It's true. You start listening to K-pop. And suddenly you're like, ooh, I want to try some Korean food.
Right, exactly.
I want to watch K-dramas.
It's like a gateway to this whole new world. And it's this cultural exchange that extends way beyond just entertainment. It's creating these connections, understanding across borders.
And it's not just a one-way street either.
Right.
K-pop is taking influences from other cultures, too.
It is,
So it's this really cool fusion of sounds and styles.
Yeah, it shows how adaptable K-pop is, you know, always evolving. makes it even more appealing on a global scale.
Yeah, it's like a constant conversation back and forth,
Yeah.
creativity and inspiration. But let's talk about the fans for a minute.
Oh, yeah.
Because the article mentions them briefly.
Right.
But we can't talk about K-pop without acknowledging these incredibly passionate, dedicated fans. I mean, they're a huge part of why it's reached global success.
Absolutely. K-pop fandom is on another level.
Yeah.
They're incredibly organized. They're active on social media.
Oh, yeah.
They're always creating content initiatives to support their favorite artists.
It's like this global community.
It is.
Brought together by their love for K-pop.
Yeah.
And they're not just listeners, they're actively shaping the culture.
Yes.
Advocating for change.
It's inspiring to see. They're informed, they're engaged, they use their collective power to actually make a difference.
It really speaks to how much K-pop means to people
Yeah,
all around the world.
it does.
So where do you see K-pop going in the future? What do you think the next chapter holds for this phenomenon?
Honestly, I think we're just going to see more growth, more evolution. I think more K-pop artists are going to break into that global market.
Yeah.
We're going to see more experimentation with different genres and styles, and I think we're going to see a lot more of those cross-cultural collaborations.
That's exciting. And I bet V's going to continue to be a major part of that evolution.
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
Pushing those boundaries, inspiring people.
definitely. He's a true artist, global icon, and a fantastic example of how K-pop can connect with everyone, no matter who you are.
Well, that brings our deep dive into V's success in K-pop to a close. I hope you found this as insightful as I have.
It's been great exploring this topic with you.
Yeah. And remember, this is only the beginning of the K-pop story.
Oh, yeah.
Who knows what's in store for us?
So much potential.
Stay curious, keep listening, and let's see where this wave of K-pop innovation takes us next.
Sounds good.
Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive. 78.